So joining me now is one of the nation's foremost experts on handicapping Senate races, Cook Political Report senior editor Jennifer Duffy. Jennifer, nice to see you.
How are you?
So I guess the big question is, are we in a holding pattern on the battle for Senate? I would say this 2 weeks ago, it felt like there was a decided shift towards the Democrats, and it was like, boy, they have a real shot at flipping. Kavanaugh has everybody going, and not sure.
Right. First of all, I didn't see that movement 2 or 3 weeks ago as clearly as some did. I actually think now we're in you call it a holding pattern. I call it turbulence. It's
holding pattern's more comfortable. The turbulence makes you vomit.
Yes, it is. Well, there are some days when I look at these, and I don't have the one thing I have to say about your ratings is, can we acknowledge that the difference between number 1 and number 5 can be measured in decimal points? I mean,
100%.
Tenths of a point.
Actually, one of the things we wanted to do is have no number 2. Well, we do believe there is a much bigger gap between North Dakota and, say, everything else. That there is a decided advantage right now, probably, for Kevin Cramer. All these other Senate races are much more within margin.
Arizona, Missouri, tight, whether you have it at 3 or 4. It's there. I mean, I think that the interesting thing about Kavanaugh in Missouri is there was no good vote for Claire McCaskill here. You know, she was going to alienate part of the vote she needed no matter what she did. I actually think Arizona, at the end of the day, is going to be the closest Senate race in the country. It's
an interesting prediction. We will hold you. No, we won't hold you to that. We'll let that go.
No, you can hold me to that.
What Hugh Hewitt earlier was saying that, there's anecdotal, and it's all, and as he said, anecdotal's anecdotal. But we've seen some polling this week that while it hasn't seen a major shift in numbers, you are seeing, as you hear from Republican pollsters going, oh my God, finally Republicans seem to be engaged. Why does that matter?
Well, first of all...
Or does it?
No, it absolutely matters. I mean, Pew came out with a study about 2 weeks ago that showed Democrats as engaged as they've been almost historically, like twice as engaged as they were in 2010, 2014. Republicans, not so much. So, yeah, you need to close that intensity gap. I think that it started to close pre-Kavanaugh, and then it has sort of slammed shut. I had a pollster say to me this week, I want to test this again when the noise is gone. I called him an optimist.
When is the noise gone?
Right.
Okay, yeah.
With the noise being gone. He said, I'll just be replaced by different noise. But it has to, can Republicans maintain this level of interest for 5 more weeks? We're going to see what happens to Kavanaugh.
I was just going to say, if the Kavanaugh story is in the rearview mirror in 2 weeks, how does that change your calculus about the Senate?
Well, I think I go back to where I was about 10 days ago, which is where I'm looking at this more race by race. I mean, sure, we look at the elections as a whole, and political environment's driving it until you get to the Senate, and then you feel like you're looking at an election in a different country. So we're looking at these more race by race than sort of the prevailing winds out there.
Yeah, but it's interesting when you do that. When I look at it race by race, I'm with you. I'm sitting there and like, sometimes I give the Republicans a net gain of 1 or 2. Sometimes I have it dead even. But when you look at the totality, you're like, boy, I've been down this road before. 2006 in particular, 2000, while it didn't change, it got Democrats to 50-50 when every close race also went to the same side. That happens more often than not, right?
Well, that's true. In the last 10 elections, one party has won a majority of the toss-up races. No party has won less than 67%. 2004, 2006, 2014, one party won 89% of those races. So the question is, this has been such a crazy cycle. Is this the exception to the rule? And what does it mean if it is? It really means, frankly, that candidates and campaigns mattered.
By the way, we should remind people that in the wave year of 2010, Republicans only got the House. They actually came up short in the Senate, and that was considered a split decision for about an hour when everybody realized, oh my God, look what happened to the House.
Well, exactly. I mean, there are a couple of similarities. I mean, I think Republicans had some recruiting challenges that cycle. I can point to a couple of races where I think they have recruiting challenges here. I'm not sure Matt Rosendale is, the strongest candidate they could have gotten. There are some races I would have thought would be on this board that aren't. I mean, we haven't talked about the one race missing in your top 10 that's extraordinary, West Virginia. I mean, a state that Trump carried by 42 points, who 6 months ago I would have told you that Joe Manchin was the most vulnerable incumbent. He's not even on the list anymore.
No, it's amazing. All right, very quickly, I love to play this game with you. Would you rather be Ted Cruz or Bob Menendez?
Menendez.
Would you rather be Claire McCaskill or Marsha Blackburn?
Ooh, that one's harder.
That tells you everything right there. It tells you everything right there. And if you have to have, I only can give you the results of one race on election night. What state U.S. Senate race would you want that would help you figure out who got control?
Arizona.
Jennifer Duffy, the best in the business. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Happy October.
Yes.
All right. Hello, YouTubers. If you're watching this, it means you've checked out our channel, so thank you. Now do me a favor, subscribe by clicking on that button down there. Click on any of the videos to watch the latest interviews and highlights from MTP Daily and MSNBC. You can get more Meet the Press content every morning in the First Read newsletter. If you're tired of content that you don't know anything about where it came from, you don't have to have that problem with us. NBC News, MSNBC, MTP, and the Meet the Press mindset right here for you on YouTube. Subscribe now.